And sitting pretty, sitting pretty, sitting pretty, sitting pretty.
Why can't keeping it real be classy? Okay. Why can't keeping it real be let me hold my peace and let me move on? Why can't keeping it real be, you know what? They may have done that, but I'm going to respect them and move forward. Why can't that be keeping it real? Right.
Hey everybody, my name is Tracy, owner and founder of Trace Your Life Coaching. If you yearn to live powerfully, purposely, and prosperously, I can help you. I've been transformed and aligned with my purpose and will be honored to help you align with yours. I help those who yearn to love their life, free from fear and the restrictions of others. I coach privately or in group sessions, in person or remotely. You can find me on Facebook at Trace Zen, my website traceyourlife.com, or give me a call at 480-788-8735 to book your session.
All right, we are back with episode 13 of season 2 of Sitting Pretty and Keeping It What?
Real.
Yes.
Real.
Tonight we have someone at the table with us who can just
Fabulous.
slay. Fabulous.
You know,
slay
slayed it
all
already.
Right, exactly. Slay and has brought us goodies. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We have Pro MUA or MUA, or as they call it in the makeup community, Mr. DèRocha here with us at the table. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing good. Thank you. Thank you for coming
for having
and sit
me.
down with us. No problem. Hopefully you enjoy yourself.
Oh, you going to?
Yeah.
I'm ready to answer any questions.
We about to have a ball.
All right. And so on the menu tonight, we have, for what we're sipping on tonight, is a pink Starburst martini garnished with pink, red, and yellow Starburst.
And it's so good.
You see, we didn't use the orange or orange Starburst. I don't think nobody liked the orange Starburst.
Those are like the last ones to be.
Yeah, the least
the
favorite.
orange before the yellow.
Them the orphans.
Really?
I like the yellow.
Then on the menu for tonight, we have potato salad, baked beans. We have shredded chicken barbecue sandwiches with chips. It's just like a whole backyard barbecue.
Yeah, because
We're
we
trying
tried
to
this
bring the
rain.
summer back because it's too rainy outside.
Exactly. Yes. Ooh, I can't wait to eat. Are y'all
ready?
ready to eat?
We ready.
Are y'all sure?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get through these hot topics. So the hottest topic of the night, and I'm positive everyone at the table has heard. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to. Thank you.
Oh, she didn't even
Thank
introduce
you.
us.
You see, you're so fabulous. She forgot about
See
us.
how
She
she
stole
doing
the
us?
show.
Go ahead.
This is Kimmy where our pretty's at.
Spicy tea.
It's T to the E.
See, I even forgot to introduce myself. It's your girl. Y'all can't even get mad at me. All right, and we're missing Queen Bee for the night.
Where you at?
Yeah, well, she'll report back on the next podcast. All right. So, for the night, the first topic of the night, and I feel like it's awarded the first topic of the night, and when we bring this topic about, you can be the first to speak on it, okay? So, let's talk about the Kardashian clan. How do y'all feel about Mr. Tristan Thompson cheating on Khloe with Kylie Jenner's best friend? Speak on it.
So I think first that we have to understand the lifestyle that they're living, to be honest with you. I mean, they're very sheltered. And I was actually just talking to my assistant about this earlier, is that I'm actually kind of happy that it happened. And let me tell you why it happened. Because I think we live in a society right now where we are putting so many people on Instagram and these celebrities on this pedestal that we forget that they're actually still humans. We also forget that they're 21 years old. We forget that they, are probably drinking at a party just as we were at that age. Well, I know I was. And I think that we have to just be a little bit more lenient with it. Now, if that was my friend, that's a different story. Yeah. But, I mean, you have to take into consideration we are putting these women on pedestals. They think that they can do whatever that they want. Well, they actually can do whatever they want. But the reason I say to be a little bit more lenient is because I know there's a lot of women that are, and just people on Instagram, and they're just like dragging her. And it's like, girl, you were a mess too when you were that age. Most likely.
Right.
Yeah,
and you're at a party drinking. Now the man, that's a whole nother story. That's
He was wrong. And just a year ago, he had got caught cheating with the other lady when she was pregnant. Like,
Oh,
it's a
which
yearly
other
thing.
lady?
Tristan, remember when
Oh,
he was
yeah,
walking
yeah,
to the
yeah.
hotel with the lady?
Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was
that's
a year
true.
ago.
But I think that
That's the same one.
what's her name?
No,
cheated.
no. It's
He
different
did the
girl.
same.
No,
But you know what? She do kind of
Same
look
name.
like
It's just
her.
the same name.
I was like, wait a minute.
Same name.
She do kind of look like her, but
But it's a different girl.
Yeah, I think it's a different
but didn't Kylie cheat with what's his name?
Tiger.
And
Travis Scott. Well, this is what I heard, that Kylie Jenner took Travis Scott from one of her
no, but
friends.
who was she with before? Tiger.
Tiger.
No.
Give us the tip.
Go
ahead.
ahead. Come on.
What's the tea?
Come on.
What's the tea?
So the tea is Black China was friends with Kim.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Kylie started messing around with Tiger.
Tiger.
Right.
And the
Yeah.
question was, Kim, how the hell did you not know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing.
It's the same.
See, that's why
So
I
I
got
said
him.
a
That's why I got him
cycle.
on the payroll because he will really keep a girl up to date.
Right.
Yes,
See, that's what you were
exactly.
saying.
That's why
Right.
people are dragging because
Yeah.
like, we've seen this happen before. So there you go.
There you go. It's just that's my piece.
Same way you get them.
The Kardashian
It's how
curse.
you lose them. Mhm.
Yes. How about you?
Oh, I mean, it's not surprising that it happened. And then you can look at it as, look at this young girl, you know, she doesn't really have a name for herself. So she kind of lives behind.
She had one job.
Right.
Secure the bag.
Huh.
But she probably didn't want that job. She wanted
But
to
what
be in
I'm
the
saying,
limelight.
now she's getting attention, though. You know, I have this NBA player on me. You know, don't get me wrong, she probably was drunk. You know, I got some stories for you, too, when I was drunk. I probably regret. But at the end of the day, she's young. She probably just made the mistake. At most, like, they're blaming her, but I truly blame him. He's the older one. You know, he knew what he was doing. He
But
was
she
taking
messed her
advantage
friendship
of
up,
her.
her whole friendship up.
Yeah.
Right.
I personally think at the end of the day, he's too young to try to settle down. It's obvious he don't want to settle down. And she needs to get somebody more mature or be by herself until.
Because he's what, 26 or 27?
Because I think it's a blessing that this is happening so she can move forward and move on and not wait for him. Because he's too young.
And she is
You're not
she
gonna
is
get
killing the game. First
she
of all,
is.
Yeah,
she is.
she's
Her weight loss and she looks good.
She looked
Yeah,
like a
she
whole
does.
different person.
Yeah, she
last year.
does.
She doesn't deserve it, so she would, as a woman, she doesn't know she don't deserve it. So I would just say it's a blessing in disguise to leave him alone, and then now you know to not have that young lady around, so she can't mess up nothing else later. So.
You will only get so many signs at some point in time. You gotta
Well, I
catch
hope
it.
that was her
around.
sign. That should be it for her.
Yeah,
I
I
hope
would
so.
think
now
so.
is that the child's father?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So it makes it a little bit more difficult too.
For her, yeah.
Because now you have a child. Who wants to raise a child in a broken home, single parent? So you know, you'll take them back because you want to at least give your child that opportunity.
But she
Sometimes
gave
you
him that
don't-
chance with that first girl.
Right, and I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if she even takes him back after that.
I wouldn't be shocked
because
either.
Sometimes you want to give that to your child. You want to give your child to raise them with two parents, and sometimes as women,
But how much is she going to allow herself to be
Well, I hope
humiliated?
not a lot.
it depends.
That's
That's on her.
where she's
So
at.
she can have somebody
Every
else.
woman is different.
Yeah.
But does she want somebody else?
All right.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic.
She'll have a new basketball player and
She can have whatever she wants.
Right.
Okay.
But it's about who she wants
Would
and
they-
purpose for wanting them. Because everybody has a purpose for something.
Yeah, because she sure do make more money than him.
What do you think?
What'd you think, Nikkei?
I just think it's all kind of crazy. Personally, at first I believed it, but now I'm like, everything is like so
What, you think it might have been
a
set up?
ploy. Yeah, low key. Like I wonder that I have that thought in the back of my head. Like, did they
Why are
make
you laughing?
this?
I'm not laughing at anything,
No,
but
they have a history of setting stuff up, right?
No, that's true. I was thinking that too. Like, maybe they felt like they hadn't been in the media lately. So they kind of came together and put this
Because
together.
one thing I found odd, even though it was only a couple days after it happened, I went to Khloe Kardashian's Instagram and she hadn't unfollowed her yet. And I was
Yeah.
like,
No, now
that's
she's
weird for people.
now
she
she's
has.
unfollowed
People
her.
probably said
days
But
ago
Jordan
when I
hasn't
checked.
unfollowed them. So, but they all unfollowed her.
After the media made
it
Yeah.
an issue.
known, right?
Yeah.
So it could be
Because
set
that's the
up.
first thing they're going to look at is social media and check that. So
Just stop following folks, so
So I
they
thought
won't be
it
in your
was weird.
business.
Maybe they were just so wrapped up and distraught that they couldn't.
Yeah, right. That's the first thing folks do. I'm friend them. They can't be in my business.
Unfollow. They could find her business.
So how would you work that out with your friend, though? Would you? Is that something you can work out?
I don't think so.
Not if you my sister, you're not
Yeah.
about to work it out.
I will love you from afar.
Yeah. That's all.
Because she'll do it to her next.
Because they're doing collaborative things together. They're doing business together. So it's not just a friendship thing. It's that you have now really brought this girl on board.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry, Jordan who before Kylie came along?
Exactly.
So, I mean, she does come from a successful family.
Fixed.
You know, Jordan does come from a successful family, but
Oh,
a lot
she
of people
does?
did not, a lot of people did not know about her.
Right.
What did they have?
I think her family has money.
A little.
A little.
Not without a donation from Kylie.
That's what I'm saying, though. You know, it's like now you're battling with, okay, now my best friend is out here doing whatever it is that she's doing after I've done all this for her.
So wait, the money getting laundered through from Kylie
Well, Kylie gave her a hefty donation of $10K.
to the family. Okay.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But then again, you gotta look at the brand too.
Mm-hmm.
She's representing Kylie Cosmetics, which I did see everything.
They did a collaborative movement
Yeah, I
together.
saw that.
Everything is what?
Half off.
Oh boy, you got to
She's
pull
like,
up to the table.
Watch your head. Prices are falling. Their thing is. I'm sorry, y'all.
The
It's-
Jordy lip kit is completely on sale now.
Half off,
And it
yeah.
just came out.
Why?
Because they're not dealing with it.
Oh yeah, it just came out like what, a month ago?
Oh, that girl crazy. I wouldn't mess with that washed up basketball player shit. Fuck.
She had one job,
I'm
like
sorry.
I told y'all.
Shit,
He ain't no LeBron, huh?
They say he's sitting on the bench too. Shit, he can stay on the damn bench. I'm sorry. Excuse me if that blurted out. I'm sorry.
I think that's crazy. All right, but yeah, hopefully that she needs to get it together. Kylie, I just don't see somebody who was. I know money isn't everything, but she was buying you cars. You was living in her house.
I wouldn't have seen that man. He wouldn't have been on my radar.
She had one job.
He wouldn't have been on my radar.
Right, can I get a car?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I'll take $100 right now.
Okay, $5.
Something small.
You could just follow me, Kylie Jenner. Please, that's all you got to do. You ain't even got to shout.
I wouldn't have messed that friendship up.
At all. All right. So now this is a topic that I guess you could say isn't really that known. I found it online today. So, a man on Tinder, first off, I didn't know people still use Tinder.
I thought Tinder was still.
I didn't think it was still
How
popping
Tinder
like
is
it was
Tinder?
a couple years ago.
She young, but I ain't never been
y'all-
on Tinder. So I
Tinder.
don't know.
Oh, okay. So he's on the run after defrauding women out of millions on Tinder. Yeah, so I'll just give y'all a little
I need a
background.
job.
An Israeli man is under fire and on the run after he defrauded several Scandinavian women. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's also known as someone else. He has an alias. He's on the run from police after he posed as a multimillionaire and met several women on Tinder.
So wait, was he? Okay, let me.
He
let you
fooled
go.
these women by inviting them to luxury hotels, fancy dinners, and private jets. He was able to smooth talk these women by convincing them to support his financial favors and promised he would pay them back.
Scheme.
Go ahead.
So he is having them pay?
Yeah, for meals and ideas and all this, and he says he would pay them back. But who is even going to
I'm trying to take some lessons, honestly, first. Forget the
I
fraud.
better not
but-
see you on Tinder.
So
Under
this
an
is a true
alias.
story, yeah.
It just
Yeah, I
happened.
just saw
They
it,
just
too.
posted about it today. Yep,
So was he dead broke?
maybe.
Well, he couldn't be if he was.
Now he's used. It's like the pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
He used one woman
Yeah,
to come up, so he has money
and
to
then go take it.
initially wine and dine someone to get them to wine and dine
He's
him back. Then
finessing
he
people.
take their money, and then he use that money.
Let me ask you something. So I think that they've amped the story up a little bit. I'm always playing devil's advocate. Okay, so I think that they amp the story up when they throw Tinder in there because do people really care that it's Tinder?
Tinder, yeah, that's true.
Okay, cool. We got that off the table. So, what's the difference between him and all these strippers that are out here doing it? We got all these men
I'm so
worshiping all
done.
these
I'm
strippers,
done.
doing all these things, traveling around the world, getting booty shots, doing all these things, posing naked in
All
front of all
these
these fancy
Instagram.
cars that aren't theirs. What's the difference, and why are we mad at him for doing it?
Because I think they're not acting like they got money. It's obvious they want your money.
Yeah, they're putting it out there.
Yeah, they shaking that ass. And
That's
you know
true.
They want some money for
This
that.
is what you get.
Yeah. I'll shake it harder for more money.
And based off of the article, it's saying that these women didn't know.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
And
men
they
are
supported his
tricks. It's
financial
easy to trick
favors,
them.
and he never paid them back. Like, why would I give
They
you
are
money?
though. Men are.
You ain't got no
it's
money
easy
to pay him
trick.
back.
Right, exactly.
All you gotta do is
How they
have a
gonna
big
sue
old
him?
booty and then you,
Right, they can even
know.
sue them. They're
Yeah.
not gonna get anything.
Right.
Well, if he got one woman, he can sue and get that woman money. He'll get another woman.
Very
and sue
But
him.
I want to know what woman is silly enough to just.
There's a
Get
lot.
my
It's a
cash.
lot of
Don't worry
desperate.
about it. It's a lot of desperate women.
She said, "Don't worry."
And I mean, clearly, if you see a man come up and he's like, it's not his money, but how would you
Right.
know that?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, really, how would you know that?
you don't.
But why would you still give him your money if you got all this money? I'd be like, if you got all this money, why do you need my money? Give me some
Something's
of your
going on in the
money.
Where's
bedroom.
your checkbook?
Yeah, give me
Something's going on in the bedroom.
I'm done. He said something. I am so done with him.
He's
He
giving
said
it to
something
him.
is going on.
He
in
has to
his
be
bedroom.
giving it to him.
So he's a prostitute.
Yes, pretty much.
Essentially, yeah, if you think about it.
What do they call? Yeah, no.
gigolo.
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 A gigolo.
How you got the word on the
He
end of your
jigging
tongue?
Gigolo. Gigolo.
Gigolo.
Jangle it, baby.
My
Probably
only
a shake.
input was he poor, but if he using money to finesse, then I can understand it.
Yeah.
But what do he look like?
Oh,
He's not bad looking.
That's the question.
When you say not bad looking, what
He's
does
not
that
like terrible. Like, oh, he's
Look,
so ugly.
how he look?
mean? Girl. This is not my
The second
type.
picture looks better when he has the glasses on.
You in the air.
You got the what you call it, air band?
I wish that they could see what this man looks like. I need everybody to go to their Google
Well, he's
right
not
now.
bad
Yeah, he's
looking.
not
He's
bad.
bad looking, but
This picture, but
The second
the
picture
second
looks
picture he's
better.
not
Yeah.
bad looking. He's not bad looking on the second
I'm gonna be
one.
honest with you.
okay. I'm waiting
No,
for your
so
answer, baby.
See, look at you. See, you would have been over there.
Yeah, the second one isn't bad. Even the first
He
one
would've
isn't bad.
finessed you.
He not my
Glasses
type.
look like,
No,
what's his
because-
name? Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Who?
Well, I got sunglasses on,
The one
so
with the
maybe
glasses.
that's.
Oh, yeah, the glasses. Sexy. But
Maybe
no.
that's why I don't find him attractive. But
I mean, you're supposed to make sure it's all secured before you go anywhere.
But how do you
that
do
part.
that?
I mean,
Because,
like,
like they say, if you see
I
the
don't
back,
find
I
him
mean, you see him in a
attractive,
nice
but he
car,
does
and
look
Yeah,
better.
he's not my
he's
type, but
dining
he's not
and dining
bad.
you the
What I
first
think
couple
is
nights.
so
How do you
incredible
know?
about it is that if you are dating, well, now none of us know the circumstances, but if you were dating somebody who was living that lifestyle, don't you think you would expect them to pay for it?
That's my
Right.
point.
So he's got to be doing some crazy mouth talking
Oh, yeah.
in order for the women to be.
You said mouth talking?
Yeah,
Or
like
just
doing
mouth talk?
just mouth all of it
Okay.
from all of you
Okay, just making sure we're...
doing something. I don't know what
mouths are
he's
talking.
doing.
The toes to the head.
But he doing that in the first couple nights if he's finessing them that fast.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He would be mad the fuck at me. Because he'll be
You
working
ain't
hard for
getting
nothing. He ain't getting no goddamn money.
You can't even drive my car.
Okay.
For real.
We
Oh man. All right, let's move on. So I know we spoke on this last week a little bit, but now another high-end fashion company has come out with something a little bit skeptical. Let's talk about Burberry. So they recently had a runway. It was like, was it Fashion Week or something, or no? It was just a runway show maybe. And a model came walking down the runway with one of their pieces on, right? But it had a noose around there.
I'm
Around the
done.
hoodie.
Dude, I'm done. They doing this on purpose. I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you guys feel about that?
Do we have a picture?
Yes.
Can anybody pull a picture? Okay. Yeah, that's. I can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's too much, huh?
And I also think that right now, just in today's society, I think it's just inappropriate.
Yeah.
You know, I think we just now. Granted, I've worked in fashion for many years, and these shows are shows that are projected sometimes 2 years in advance. But I do know that in cases like this, also just being a CEO myself, you can make really big major moves based off of what's currently going on in society. And I think primarily with the Gucci thing that just previously happened, I think that was maybe a wrong move.
Do you think that was a PR stunt?
Yeah, I seen this one as well.
Because the reason why I feel that
Did you
it's
see
a
it?
PR stunt is because, like with Gucci, everyone came out, right?
Right.
Calling them out, blah, blah, blah. With them, I didn't really hear anybody calling them out. They just came out with this an apology. It was just like, I apologize for this. You
Burberry
know, blah, blah,
did?
blah. Yeah. There was nobody really called them out. They didn't get called out by the public or by any news outlets. They just came out with an apology.
So they just wanted some attention.
Best that way though, because I feel like them, like these high-end fashion companies becoming offensive is like a marketing.
It could be two things. It could be it was already projected, and then once the Gucci thing came out, they probably came together and was like, okay, let's just go ahead and apologize before we get called out for this.
It's a good time to put a noose on anybody ever since slavery was a bad
See, that's
thing.
what I'm saying. Like, come on, you know? Yeah. And I think that also, like, is primarily these... Well, first of all, we don't need to be doing that anyways with everything that's going on. We don't need to be doing that anyways. Right. But also, we just dealt with this with H&M. Like, it's not...
Oh, yeah, what, a year ago?
Yeah, these are just topics that you just should not be touching. It's a sweater.
It's horrible.
You don't need to have it tied like that.
Okay. You don't need to
unravel that.
Yes.
But why you even walk around with some rope on your neck?
How does a noose like accessorize?
It's not an accessory. I've never seen any necklace like a noose.
That's actually part of her, like this cord
this
right
part,
here. She got
part.
it. Yeah. See, somebody could have unraveled that before she.
Yeah, it's just exactly like that.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
If she that damn dumb to walk down the runway with, then she gonna hang her ass.
So is it really made like that, or did somebody actually tie it like
It
that?
looks like
Let me see it again.
Looks like somebody.
Come on, for real.
She probably does not know African American studies.
But if she said put me on the runway,
It was like that time Melania wore that one insensitive shirt when she was going to visit the children. That were stolen. She said, "I don't care about the kids."
I don't
like
care, something like that.
Yeah,
Remember Melania?
No.
Trump's wife?
Melania, the jacket she had on. It was in the back. It was like a almost like a green.
She said
trench coat.
It said, "I don't care."
Now you know what?
She
dinky. She dinky.
People need
like,
to get
that's a whole nother.
That's a whole other job description somebody can have. Is being a
Something
consultant
wrong with
to
her,
help
though.
people pick the right things to do or not to do. I don't know.
Like, look who her husband is.
We're not gonna get on politics. Not
Uh-uh.
tonight.
I don't do politics.
Not tonight.
I agree.
We're not gonna do it.
We can stay off of that. Okay, so I have a fun question.
Do you like your boy?
Oh, I love her.
I thought you would.
She real, honey.
She real? No, she ain't. She ain't real.
Yeah,
but
she
she
real.
real enough for tonight, huh?
That part.
That part.
That
Yeah.
You
get the picture.
There you go.
Real
Pink
fashion,
looks good
honey.
on you. That color looks good on you.
You know what? One of my man friends was just telling me how good pink looks on me.
It
actually
It looks
does.
good with your
I
color.
really thought it was going to make me look red.
Because we were going to try to do all black, but I'm thinking this pink with a splash of black, that shit is all
I like her. She is.
Did you get
Well, she like you too.
I'm done. I am so done with you.
All right, so I have a few more.
She's a little itchy though, so we'll let her hang out with the gals, honey. Because this bow was a little itchy, honey.
She got you that neck. She got that neck itched up, huh?
Making up all time words. Okay, so this is just a fun question,
She
just to
pretty,
get to
though.
know. So, where did you travel for the first time on an airplane? This is a question for everyone.
Oh, I got mine.
I traveled. Gosh, it's been so long. I think the first place I traveled was like St. Louis.
Do you remember for what?
Yeah, I actually started doing makeup professionally when I was 13. So I was going to see a client, and I was so nervous. I remember like Googling like, how do you walk through an airport? And one of my friends was like, you ain't never fly before? And I didn't grow up with money, girl. So like, we drove, honey. I grew up in a family of like 12 kids, honey. So it's like, you can take the bus. Like, what? You got no money to go anywhere. So it's like, you're only driving 2 hours. But I was so terrified.
Yeah.
I was so scared. I was like typing in like, what do you take? What do you not take? Like, how do you get through security? Like, I was so scared. I was terrified.
Now are you a pro in the airport?
I'm a pro in the airport, honey.
You
I
be
got
sliding
that
and
TSA
gliding?
pre-check, honey.
You be sliding?
Oh, you got that TSA
I go
pre?
right through, because I do not have times waiting in the lines.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, TSA pre, yeah.
Red tea.
Yeah.
Honey, I
need to
cannot
get
do no
mine.
lines.
She ready.
You next? Are you ready?
Oh, I forgot what the
Come on,
question.
she
I was
ready.
Right.
You
Is she
ready?
ready? Talking.
Is she ready?
She not ready.
You know what? What was the question? I was all into what
First
it
time
said.
you flew.
Oh, I was 26 years old.
Where?
To Detroit
Where you go to Detroit for?
for an NFL football game.
Who did you go see there?
I just told
Our
you.
cousin.
Our cousin.
I know. I just wanted to get it out of here.
Mm.
Okay.
You didn't say it. Our cousin. You just
Yeah,
said
you
the
just
NFL
said
football
football.
game.
I'm like, I was on that trip with football players.
Right.
I had to have a
You
drink
going to
though.
go
I had
see
to have a
that.
drink. Yeah,
On
and
the
some
plane?
sinus medicine. Yeah.
You want some crazy?
Well, for me,
I forgot
I was
the
in the
question. I was
third
listening to you.
grade, and
That was all into your
my
story.
third grade class, we went to SeaWorld.
Oh, cool.
Y'all
Third-
flew for
We
class?
flew.
And you were
Because it
how
was a
old?
1 day trip. We flew first thing in the morning, went to SeaWorld, spent the whole day
What
there,
school
and
you
flew
go to?
back.
Exactly. Y'all was rich.
What elementary school you went to? Because you was on the west side with me.
Your school was rich.
No,
Which school you went to?
I bet you can't guess.
Hey, it wasn't Harris, Cartwright, Berry.
Peralta?
No, Berry's,
C.J. Jurgensen.
Oh, Jurgensen. Oh, okay.
And they
South
flew
side.
y'all somewhere?
Well, we had to like raise the money and stuff, but
It was
they
like
didn't
5
fly
y'all?
us. The whole class. We do
What?
fun way. They don't do it. See, I'm
You know,
sorry.
she the one
You're
who climbed.
younger
She
than
was
me.
climbing.
You know,
You already
like
got-
they stopped doing stuff like that. For
I didn't even hear
elementary
her.
kids.
She
So
always
they-
said,
back
like,
in my
some
day,
smart stuff.
they used to take us on real field trips. You know, we used to
Yeah.
have real field trips.
Exactly.
Your day, I'm sorry, y'all got a little cut
Which
short.
is today.
She likes to throw that.
So my first time I flew to El Paso, I was 18 or 19. We had a basketball tournament. So we flew into El Paso and then drove to Lubbock or something. I don't know why we did half and half, but
Okay.
that's when we had played against Cheryl Swoops too. That girl was coming down that court. I said, "Oh, I'm not crying." Y'all get her.
Somebody
Get that
Get her.
Get that giant.
Okay, so the first time I flew, I think I was 8 months old. I'm just joking. I just made that
Why
up.
she over here making
young.
stuff up?
I don't remember, maybe like a year, because we went to Florida, right?
No, we might.
What's the
have
first time you remember?
No, we went to San Antonio or something.
No, don't
too.
tell her. What's the first time you remember?
Oh, maybe going to California somewhere, but I don't remember
okay.
how old I was. So yeah, not that exciting. Not as
been
exciting
flying.
as
You
a
just
field
been living a
trip.
good life.
Not as a basketball game.
She's just been living a good life, flying all her life.
Even.
It's your airline baby.
She's your airline baby.
Okay, so this is a question. Next, I'm moving on. If I didn't explain, because I did just kind of hop from subject to
Thank
subject.
you for hopping.
Okay. So I found this on a website, and this is what somebody wrote into this site, like trying to get advice, correct? So we're just going to give them our advice, okay?
Okay.
So, my live-in girlfriend talks to her male friend about issues within our relationship. What should I do? Dun, dun, dun.
My live-in.
My live-in girlfriend.
So, I don't even know why I had to say live-in. Maybe because they live
My
together.
girlfriend. We live
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
girlfriend is so they're a heterosexual couple,
Yeah.
and she is confiding in
Her male friend about their relationship. What should he do?
So I'm very big on keeping things that are in my relationship within my relationship. I really do not like to have a lot of people knowing, but I also understand that not everybody is like that. You know, it's just hard for me because I'm not going to say I'm a jealous person, but I'm kind of a jealous person.
Then you are jealous.
I'm a jealous person, and I don't really like a lot of people. I just don't like a lot of people just being in my business, and I feel like the person that I'm with, my partner would understand that. My partner should understand that. And if somebody is questioning that on the forum, they're probably the same way, and they need to have a conversation with that, and then need to sit down and be like, "Are you compatible with me? Because I'm asking you not to speak with another male person like that. And you probably shouldn't speak to another person like that, because it's kind of disrespectful." Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, how do you allow that person to vent then?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, because my question is it depends on how long she's been friends with that other guy. Because if she's been friends with the other guy longer than the relationship, then how can you kind of like tell her that she can't go vent to that person? So
Do you feel that if it was the opposite way around and you had a husband, right, and he had a female friend and he was venting to her about
that bitch gotta go. See, yeah,
You
so
know
it's
this
hard.
the jealousy.
Yeah.
You said jealous.
Yeah,
She's
y'all,
more
I'm a
jealous than you,
Scorpio, so
probably.
Oh, you're a Scorpio.
so
I can't do it. So yeah, it wouldn't go. It wouldn't fly.
it wouldn't fly.
They still have that friend though?
I don't know. It just depends on how they're. Like, if they're the type of friends where if it bothers our marriage, then she gotta go.
Right.
If it doesn't interrupt my marriage, then I may be able to deal with certain things.
With the close eye.
But I am the crazy one, the crazy jealous one.
So my answer to that is, you know, like, I'm trying to, like, embrace a new me, right? So I've typically been
Oh,
the
Lord.
one
She
to,
got a new revelation going on.
I do. Like, I haven't, like, I'm typically not one to express anything to anybody. I keep everything in to myself. But one thing I learned by doing that is I build so much anger and resentment for holding a lot of stuff in that way.
But against yourself or the other person?
Both.
Against the other person, just for not even just being able to, like, I feel like if I would have been able to just confide in somebody and just talk to them about things, I would have been able to process other things differently. And then it wouldn't have got to a point to where it was
But
just
is it
like,
fair to that person, though?
It's
Because,
not.
Yeah,
It's
true.
not. It's not. So one thing that I learned that I had to work on is I do need to confide how I'm feeling to someone. It's like a process. I have to process things with somebody. If that's going to be my male friend, it can, because I do have two great male friends that I pretty much now.
So if you got into a new relationship and he had a problem with these two male friends,
it's
That's
not to
a
deal
whole
with
other
it.
question
That's a
right
whole
there.
other
Actually,
question.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a good
Because
question.
I have two male friends that I'm not willing to give up for anybody.
So you'll give up the relationship?
what if we're Latricia?
Yeah, we good. We're back.
We're
Yeah.
good.
Okay, so you were saying that you had two guy
I
friends.
have two guy friends that no matter what, whoever I'm with will have to accept them.
I don't see a problem with that.
Right.
So
but
you put it on the table,
I
though.
put it on the table initially in the beginning. So as our relationship builds, you're aware if that's an issue or not. And if it's an issue, then it's going to be an issue. But I do
Right then and there, but you need to know
Right.
that it's.
But
an
I'll
issue.
know
Okay.
before it's like too late, where
Right.
it's like I have to choose. I just would never put myself in that situation. I'll choose in the
Girl,
beginning.
that's hard though, because what if you really like him? What
But
if
in
he
the
sets you
beginning,
down and then? Okay, wait.
Can I get my turn?
Then we could just be fuck buddies until I find somebody else.
She's like, I'm ready to answer this question.
Can I answer my question? First, I would like to have a guy friend that's really close. So if you're out there, be my friend. Second,
She ready.
if I'm dating a guy and he was friends with this girl and they're really, truly, genuinely friends, it depends on what he's telling her. Like, too much of it wouldn't bother me. I really wouldn't give a damn, to be quite honest with you.
But if she come around you looking at you sideways, you heard about an argument that happened 2
Well,
weeks ago.
F her too, then.
Well, fuck you too. You have
Honestly, I wouldn't, only because that's her. She shouldn't honestly get mad at me because I have friends that tell me stuff about they got friends. I may not be happy with what they did, but I'm not gonna go be mean to them. So
No, but I
at
like
that
when the
point,
K just said if the person.
Did that
is
mean
looking
she
at
don't
you-
want me to talk to her? I don't give a fuck. I would look back. Excuse me. I would look back at her crazy too, and I probably would act like I don't see her once I know that.
But
she
then
does
you would
that.
tell him not to be friends with her too.
Or not
Because if she's getting mad, she might like him. If she's not trying to get mad, she's not like. You see what I mean? She would know her place.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
What about
provide
you,
him with the
Nikkei?
coaching and mentoring
And tell
that
him what he needs to
get
do
on
to
the
get
right
his
path.
stuff right, to keep me around.
The question was, I think that whatever.
You asked
like,
the
You a damn
question.
lie. So let's say,
Okay, so if your boyfriend,
Malik.
so if Malik, if Malik, no, I'm just playing. If he,
Say I'm not your cousin, but I'm Malik's best friend.
and then he's calling her and saying,
Every time you
goddamn
bite him,
Nikkei,
he called me and be like, oh, she bites me and I don't really like this.
and then you overheard the conversation. How would you feel about it? You'd be wondering why the fuck you could lie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I don't really think that it is a big deal to an extent, but I guess it depends on like what he's telling her. Like, if it's just like surface level things or like things that are more personal.
If he tell her about y'all YouTube,
What?
or y'all YouTube coming out before it come out.
I'm
just playing.
But what about if it's something, now this gets serious, right? What about if it's something that he's kind of been telling you for a while, like something he needs that you're not providing, but you're not giving it to him. So he's talking to his friend, who is a girl, about it.
And I'll tell her my part.
Like what? I want a French kiss, and she don't want a French kiss.
No, it's a little bit deeper than that.
Oh,
We get a little bit deeper than that.
how low can you go?
How low can you go?
Go.
Can you go down low?
Hey.
To the floor.
Right? Or even for you, how would you feel about that? If it's like literally
Sexual.
something, it could be, maybe something that they want more of you, but they're asking you, and you're just like, oh, whatever.
Oh,
but then you
they're telling
overhear
other
them telling their friend about it.
And then I'll start
Somebody
telling them
finna
my part.
die.
See, I don't know, because especially specifically on those type of topics, I feel like just as you're saying, you know, I would make it clear at the beginning that I have these two friends. I would let my partner know these are the types of conversations that I don't find acceptable. You know, and if you, on my end too, if you can't feel comfortable having those conversations with me and respecting, you know, with my career and my privacy and things like that, then we're not compatible.
But that's what I'm saying. What if they're trying to, but you're just not really trying to hear it? Because sometimes we get set in our ways sometimes too, and it's like, we hear you, but we don't really hear you.
Well, I think that falls on our shoulders then, as a person, to be welcoming, you know, and do welcome all types of conversations. I mean, Laz knows very well as well that I'm the type of person that I go against the grain of, like, pushing my partner away just because I know that people do need to talk. You know, people do need to talk and people do need to go somewhere to go. So I would never be in that situation personally.
Oh, good answer.
But then too, it's three sides to every story. So while he's complaining about you, why you're not doing what you're doing, it may be a reason because he ain't doing what the hell he's supposed to be doing too. So it's gonna be a standstill. Standoff, standstill. I ain't doing nothing extra.
It's gonna be a hold down.
Unhold down.
Unhold down. Ain't no holding going on around
here.
All right.
Don't wait.
Nice talk. Good topics. All right, we're going to go smack on some barbecue inside the house tonight.
And then we'll be
Y'all think this is a game, but I'm spitting facts. My middle name Bougie, so you know it's rap. Bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang. Got two necklaces from Tiffany's. My ice 10 times, your nose ring. You better back up before you get got. I'ma knock you with my rose gold wristwatch. Y'all think this is a game, but I'm spitting facts. My middle name Bougie, so you know it's rap. Yeah, double C's on my eyes, so I'm seeing clear. Just left the dealership, I'm a swerve and steer. On the loop 202, and I'm heading near you. What? Okay, I might just pull up in the Accord, but don't worry, got the X3 keys in the door. What more can y'all even ask for? Fan first, pod son, sitting pretty, we on, yeah, we about to be litty on the moon, and we got new work coming real soon. And as for you, you should have been on, cause we about to take over the whole damn zone. We doing this as a team, so we all about to be flashy, what, bling bling? Right, get it, but back to me, 800 on some bundles.
We are back with the second half of Sitting Pretty and Keeping It Real. I'm pretty sure everyone's belly at this table is full and greased and
except
happy
for
right
mine.
about now. Yeah, except for hers.
How was hers?
Hers, C to the E. How was the food?
The food was delicious.
Okay.
Who made it?
Me.
You
She
made it
didn't.
all?
No, she didn't make.
Girl.
All she did was put these wires together.
I'm joking. They made
Put
the
these
food.
wires together.
Yeah, no, they made the food. But thank you. How are the drinks?
The drinks are actually delicious, honey.
Yes.
So what alcohol is in this?
Vodka.
Ooh,
Yes.
I like her.
She likes you. We made it for your pink, Pretty in Pink.
My Pretty in Pink collection, yes. I love it.
All right. Ladies, you ready to get started?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Okay, let's get right on into it. So as I said before, we have celebrity pro makeup artist DèRocha here with us tonight. And so, just to start off, just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you got started in the makeup. Just really, I guess you could say you can go kind of a little bit general, and then from there we'll ask more questions.
So, my name is DèRocha. I'm a professional makeup artist, and I surprisingly grew up in Iowa, in a town of like a couple hundred people, and I started doing makeup professionally on Celebrity when I was 14, and then I relocated to Phoenix about 3 to 4 years ago, and started working on a television show once I was here, and now I'm sitting amongst you beautiful ladies.
Oh, watch out now.
So what made you move to Phoenix, of all places?
So I had been traveling in and out of Iowa for quite a long time. I actually owned a company. I started a company when I was 16 that was doing, it was an agency, a makeup artistry agency, and it was doing makeup inside of strip clubs.
Oh.
I found a niche doing it, and it blew up. It turned into an international company, and we were working in hundreds of strip clubs all around the world. And so I was always traveling, and I essentially I wanted to get out of the snow. And I remember being on the treadmill in like a December blurry winter, and I looked over at my friend and I said, let's go to Phoenix. And he was like, wait, what? And I was like, let's go to Phoenix. Let's go to Phoenix for 6 months, and then let's just go to LA for my career. came to Phoenix and I just loved it. I loved the people. I loved how it was not super expensive.
Right.
And I saw that there was an opportunity here there was a lot of exotic dance clubs here as well. And so I had a lot of connections here and I just stayed.
Right.
And I just really liked it ever since.
Okay, awesome.
It was honestly, like when you asked like what brought me here, I was just happened to be working out, maybe saw something on the television and I was like, let's go to
About Phoenix, and you just chose Phoenix.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
So how long did it take you once you moved to Phoenix to get your career up and going?
So I have always been, like, it's always been drilled into my head to, like, hustle and hustle hard. So it didn't really take me, to be honest with you, that long. I mean, I like to think of myself as, like, a master networker as well. I did have a couple of, you know, really incredible leads in strip clubs already. And then what I was doing is I was just giving everybody discounts. And I think probably within about 6 months I was already working in a really high-end salon. I knew that I wanted to get out of the strip club industry when I first came here. And so to answer your question, probably about like 6 or 7 months.
To build your clientele?
To build, to start bringing money in.
Oh,
you know?
that's awesome. Awesome.
And you mentioned that when you were here, you said you was working with a TV. Did you just say what?
Yeah, so after I moved here, I actually was working for Saks Fifth Avenue. I was doing makeup with one of my most incredible favorite brands ever. I was working with them. And I stumbled across a girl who was working on a television show. They sat her with me, and it turns out that she was working on the television show called Total Bellas. It's the like WWE wrestlers. So I started working with them and, you know, just really, really fell in love with the show and fell in love with the character that I was working on, and actually started working with her for probably about 2 years until I, you know, started moving into the next portion of my career. And I was like doing everything with her. I mean, you know, from her like maternity shoots to her blog shoots to, I mean, at her house. I was oftentimes at her house like 2-3 times a week.
She lived here?
Yeah, she lives here, and she was a character in the show. So doing that, as well as juggling, working in a lot of still clubs as well, up until the point of about 2 years when I actually sold the company because it was just getting a little bit too overwhelming for me.
And then, so when did you birth your cosmetic line?
So the cosmetic line that I actually am the CEO of, it's not mine. I'm not the founder of it.
Okay.
The company that I actually am the CEO of right now, they actually sponsored me. They've been sponsoring me since I was about 14 years old.
Okay.
Always sending me brushes, and actually before even I was a sponsor on their PR team, I was actually purchasing the brand myself. I found it on YouTube. It was a huge YouTube brand, and I just really fell in love with the price point. I fell in love with, you know, the company, and also, of course, you know, how good the tools were for the price. I actually did not, and then they found me on, you know, Instagram and things like that, and then they started sponsoring me. So I never knew the CEO, I never knew anything. It wasn't until I moved here and I was teaching some makeup classes. There was this stunning little old lady that I was teaching her just like the importance of brushes, like a one-on-one makeup class. And I was talking to her about brushes, and she goes, yeah, my son owns a makeup brush line. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, the way that she said it, I was like, you know, girl, like, whatever. And she goes...
Look, and?
She goes, yeah, it's called Sedona Lace or something. And I go, your son's makeup brush line is called Sedona Lace. You know, it's very successful. And she goes, wait, what? I don't know anything. And I said, I would really like to get in contact with your son. And... it was the most bizarre thing ever because I knew when I came to Phoenix, of course, like growing up on a farm in a really rural town, I knew that there was a reason, there was something that God was telling me to come to Phoenix for. And I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And it was like as soon as she told me her son, I just had this really weird feeling. Contacted her son, who was Jason, incredible friend of mine now, who's the founder of Sedona Lace, and he's just started flying me to all these conventions and all these other things. And in November, he decided that he was ready to step down after I had been consulting with him for quite some years, and I decided to purchase it.
Oh,
wow! That is an awesome story. So that's why you came to Phoenix.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Your jaw just didn't drop when you met his mom because that was the same brushes that you were using. Am I correct?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Amongst some other pieces as well, but it was. But I don't think that she really had it connected.
Yeah.
You know, Jason, the previous CEO, he is actually an engineer and just a businessman. So what he would do is he would consult with professional makeup artists to be able to produce new product and newness and things like that. And so that's where I came into play.
Because it was what you did already.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome.
How do you feel your family support? Like, are they supportive of you? Or?
So I've always been like the wild child. I've got two older brothers.
You don't have to tell us that.
You saw me walk in the door and you're like, oh. No, I've always been the wild child. And, you know, my mother is extremely supportive. She's a seamstress. She does, you know, makes costumes for like drag queens and wins every Halloween costume. She's a very eccentric woman. And she has always been so supportive of whether I was doing drag or whether I was doing all these other things. She didn't care. She was just so happy that I was happy. You know, and surprisingly, I grew up in a really Christian home, but my mom knew that, you know, whatever it is that I want to do, as long as you do it well. And of course, she was happy because along the way she's getting makeup and all these other things.
I was going to say, did you do her makeup?
Things, you know, all her little events and things. But, you know, my parents, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky because my father and my siblings and my sister and they are the main drivers behind everything that I do. Even at such a young age, you know, growing up in Iowa, you've got all these people around you. They don't know what a makeup artist is. They don't know what a big city is. We don't even have stoplights in our town.
Oh, you're like, I got to get out of this city.
Yeah, but nobody, I mean, people, all of those friends judged me besides my family. They're like, oh no, we know Dalen. He's going to make it big. He's going to do the dang thing.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very lucky to have the parents that I have.
Awesome. Who was the first person you've ever did their makeup?
The first person. Oh my gosh, I can remember. Her name was Olivia Warwick. I had this fake Coach bag that I don't know where I got it, and that was my
fake.
It was, I don't know where. I must have got it at some garage sale or something.
Well, how you know it was fake? You looked in the tag.
Oh, honey, it was bad.
You didn't have no serial number.
It was
You
bad.
didn't have the cereal in there. The serial number was missing.
It was bad. And I remember I was doing it like just for fun. And her name was Olivia Warwick, and I was probably in maybe like 4th grade. But I knew at that point, I was walking around with my makeup kit, honey. Oh. I had my brushes. 4th grade? Yes, honey.
Where are your brushes? Where you put your brushes at? And you in the 4th
Coach
grade?
Bag. The Foch,
you are
excuse
a
me,
mess.
the Foch bag.
The Foch bag. So you was ready.
Stayed ready.
I love it. He said 4th grade.
Living in Iowa in like such a rural town, how complicated was for you to build your clientele? Like, how did you go about that?
For some reason, I don't know, because my parents are not entrepreneurs. Nobody in my family are entrepreneurs in my immediate family, so I don't really know where I got my drive. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I got my drive. I had one of these. It's going to be really bizarre, but I first got my drive when I had one of those. You remember those old MacBooks? They're not even MacBooks, the green ones, those big clunkers. Okay. I used to always sit in front of I only had one movie. We didn't have cable, nothing. And I used to watch one movie. It was The Devil Wears Prada. And I used to watch it over and over. And that's such a good movie.
Yes,
it's such a good movie to drive you. Because, all the things. I could be here for hours with that movie. But still to this day, I after watching that movie at such a young age, I was like, the city's for me.
Yeah, you knew it was,
I knew that there was art. I knew that there was a way that was out there. Seeing Miranda Priestley boss people around, I was like, I'm her. I'm her. I'm Miranda Priestley.
Is he her?
No.
No, but I don't think that it was hard because I guess my friends were excited, but people have always just been prone to be super excited around me because I was so passionate. Right. And I think in life, no matter what it is, if you are just so passionate, people are going to buy it.
Oh, yeah. They will.
So I never really had an issue with that. I never really had. I mean, I did have people that I think were judgmental and be like, oh, girl, this is a phase. But, honey, I'm here.
Okay. She has arrived.
So why makeup?
I don't really have the answer to that. I've just always been super, super creative. Okay. I actually, to be honest with you, as I got older, I even started doing drag, female impersonation, and I really loved it. I got to show y'all a picture, actually. Yes. Can I see my phone? Thank you.
He is ready.
I never really thought that I was going to be in professional makeup artistry. I actually wanted to be an eye doctor, which is really, really bizarre. As I was doing makeup, I was still as well, of course, working during the day, and I was working in an optometry office, and I wanted to be an eye doctor for a long time. And at some point, I sat down and I was like, you know what? When you think of drag, you really are making money off your makeup. And I had been doing like little stuff here and there. I knew how to do makeup, but I didn't really take it seriously. And when I realized that I could be serious about it, I think that's when I was like, she slays. This is really a job.
I love it.
I think in Iowa, it wasn't as big of a career opportunity because that's just the way the civilization is there, But when I really realized, like, you got a gift, honey, that's when she was like, you know what? Hello? Because it came so easy to me. That's another thing, too. Maybe that's a better answer, is it came easy to me.
So it's like like your passion and your natural born talent.
Natural born talent, and then of course wrapping your like entrepreneurial skills into it and like your hustling skills.
Gotcha.
And I think wrapping those all up into a bow is why I'm sitting here.
Gotcha.
And is why I have the checks rolling in, and is why I have all these other things, and why I can support my family and do all these other things, is because I was able to wrap that all up in a bow. Gotcha. And I think when makeup came out, I was like, this is so easy. You're really good at this.
Because it was just you.
It was just me.
Yeah.
So you did your first person, you completed someone's face in the 4th grade. When were you interested? Like, at what age where you were just like, oh, makeup, I kind of like this? Like, what sparked that?
I'll be honest with you, it didn't really become real to me, which is so bizarre because even in Iowa, I was traveling outside of the city, and I really, because I was so gung-ho about being an eye doctor, I didn't really think that I was actually going to do makeup. And it really didn't set in. And I had been working, on like different little Z-listers here and there. I hope they're listening.
Well, you never
not
said
A, not Z, not G.
So if you do the alphabet, you go A to Z.
But Z is closer to A if it moved backwards.
See, I knew I liked it when I came in.
There you go.
I didn't really super take it serious. I think other people were actually taking me more serious before I was taking myself serious. I had been doing all of these things on Instagram and social media, but I think deep down I was like, girl, you are not going to do this. And it wasn't until when I came to Phoenix that I was like, you could really make a living off of this. Because the way that I looked at it in Iowa, I was like, it's cute, but you're not making this is not your bread and butter. The optometry office is your bread and butter.
So this is your full-time job now?
So this is my full-time job, yes. I am now, I have a couple different channels of business that I do now. So I do, professional makeup artistry, and I specialize in what we call multimedia application. So anything that is going to be like on film, on camera, I'm the guy to go to. And then I recently sold my agency, so... Now what I actually have coming out is my own cosmetic line as well. It's called Shadow, and it specializes in high grade brushes, luxurious brushes, and then our cosmetics are actually like natural cosmetics, natural cosmetics that get the job done. Because I don't know if you guys know a lot about natural cosmetics, but they don't actually have a lot of pigment. You're kind of like juggling between like, am I going to do pigment? Am I going to do good quality or like good for you makeup? So it's like this kind of it's really hard. It's really, really hard to make. So taking my time with that, as we're in production with that right now, and as we were doing that, Sedona Lace just like fell into my hands, and I was like, okay, here she is. I keep telling all my colleagues, like, I messed around and got 2 brands. Like, I hustled too hard and got 2 brands.
Okay, be careful.
Now what I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So what would you say is the most challenging part about juggling all your work or owning the business?
And doing the makeup, all that.
I think the most challenging part is, and that I've really, really had to teach myself, is to find time for yourself, find time for God, find time to be aware and allow God to direct you. But it's hard. When it first all started, even before my brand was coming out, I was like doing all of these things, and I was getting ready to write a book, and I wanted to start my own podcast, and I wanted to do all these things, and I was like, you gotta slow down, honey.
Oh, so you want to get into podcasting too?
I sure do.
There you go. Make it pretty, whatever you do.
Yes, that part. Always.
Just invite us on.
Yeah, just make sure that
I
we're
definitely will. But the hardest part, I think, is finding balance.
Right.
And not just saying, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, but really, really, truly finding balance. Because if you do not find balance, you're off balance. And that is going to, it started to affect my sleep, the way I was thinking, my eating habits. So I'm just going to run around to get fast food at this point, because you have to make time for yourself with everything. And read a book.
Yeah, sit down
Oh,
somewhere.
God, you got to read a book.
You do.
You
So
got to
how
make
has
time
that
to
affected
read.
your dating life? Like being so busy and not having the time even for yourself. Like how have you been able to like get out there and meet people and?
It's actually been really
fun?
interesting. I have a very interesting dating life. It's hard for people to date me because I think deep down I know that I feel busy, but I don't necessarily feel like I am what people picture me as. Like this like big person that's like doing all these things. I don't really feel that way. Deep down I really feel like I'm just like a guy that knows how to maneuver a makeup brush and run a company. But I think when people see me, and partly that's my fault as well, and of course the way I portray myself on social media and all these things, but when I date, I think it's difficult for me because people try to match that. And all that I want is somebody to just be yourself.
Yeah.
You could be the best burger flipper, honey.
Yes.
That's all I want you to do is be the best at what you do. And so it's difficult for people to date because for me to date primarily is because what happens is you sit down with this person and they think they have to like take you to the fanciest restaurants. They have to do this, they have to do, and all I want you to do is just be genuine. But because you weren't that at the beginning, now it's like now you're trying to backpedal. Now I'm just over here questioning like, who are you?
Who are you? So they're not coming correct.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
It is hard for me. It is hard for me, and I know that kind of sounds like narcissistic, but it's really real. Like a lot of times I'm just like, dang, I just wish that you would just be who you are.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people that I do date are people that are that I have found that I'm most compatible with are people who are like killing the game just as much as I am.
Okay.
Because
you guys are meeting one another.
We're meeting one another career-wise.
Yeah.
I need somebody that's real busy. I can't have you up underneath me, honey. I can't have
you don't want them doing like this?
No.
What's your longest relationship?
My longest relationship was probably 3 years.
Oh, see, that's a long time.
Yeah. And it ended when I did start to get really busy.
Oh, okay.
So the busyness brought that up.
Gotcha.
Just don't get on that Tinder like we talked about earlier.
Girl.
Finessing. Finessing.
So, are you like currently looking, or are you just focusing on you? Like, what's the status?
I'm dating God right now.
Okay,
I like
watch
that
out
too.
now.
Me and God got a real good relationship.
Hallelujah.
But he flirts. But you flirt, son. You a master flirter.
I have been told I am very
master flirter.
flirtatious. I don't feel that I'm flirtatious.
You are.
You have a natural flirtatious
Yes.
vibe about you in general.
Don't be acting like you're shy over there.
Like-
I almost started flirting back.
Right.
You're very flirtatious.
Very
I
flirtatious.
have been told
Men,
that.
women,
I have
I
been
see
told
that.
that, and
Yeah.
it is very surprising to me because people do tell me that a lot, and I'm like, what do you want me to do?
But that's the way God made you.
No.
That's the way God made me, honey, and I'm
Yeah.
owning it.
Yeah.
Got the good eye contact and
do,
everything.
right.
Look, we're staring each other down. I got good eye contact.
Don't do
too.
that.
You my
As soon as you
boyfriend.
said it,
Don't
he was
do
looking
that.
right at me.
So would you be able to give us, I know you asked Spicy Tea this earlier when we first started, would you be able to give us like a rundown of what you do on a daily basis?
Yeah, so the first thing I like to do in the morning is I try not to check my phone. I try to just turn off the alarm and not check my phone. Recently, we've had a lot of different new collections and stuff coming out, so I've kind of stepped away from that, but I'm very big on that because I feel like when you first wake up, there's two things that you need to do. You need to have a big glass of water, and you also need to spend time with yourself. And you need to let yourself, be with yourself for a moment, whether that's 3 minutes, whether that's 5 minutes, and whether that's all that you have, just the motion of going through it. So I really try to start my day with that because after that, it's all hell has broken loose. I do have an incredible staff. I have an incredible group of interns that are working with me. But being able to be a man that is wearing many hats is very difficult. So being able to tell you what my day-to-day looks like, the only thing that I could really tell you what the morning looks like is because I'm waking up and I am taking a moment for myself, and then before you know it, I'm like at the gym working out at night. And then I was even at the gym, actually, one of my colleagues saw me and he's like, get off your phone and work out, because I had been standing there replying to emails. But I try to take a moment for myself. A moment to just, thank God I'm alive.
Right.
Thank God I've got this. Because I still can't believe I tell Laz is over here, Laz is my assistant, and I still tell Laz, how am I even here? So I think it's really important to just take time to be thankful, because after that, all hell's going to break loose. I would love for you to take a trip in my life one day.
Right. We're down. We can do it.
Yes, honey. No, it's a lot.
I didn't say do it, but just be next to you while you're doing it.
A day in the life of.
So probably like what I would like my day in my life to be is it's a lot of meetings. So I was actually talking to my barber about this, and to me it's second nature, so it might be interesting to you guys and the viewers or listeners. But in order to make, for example, this martini glass, let's say like this is a brand, you have to meet with an analyst. You have to meet with an engineer. You have to meet with your PR director. You have to meet with everybody that is going to go from your idea now to getting that for the customer to buy it.
Right.
And that's a lot of people. And you may think that your idea in your head is the dopest idea ever. Because I'm an artist. We've got some crazy, really out there ideas. But is it sellable? And if it's not sellable, how are average customers who don't think crazy outside of the box, how are your average customers or your main customers, going to buy that? So it's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of Laz calming me down. It's a lot of, is this order out, is that order out? And then on top of that, you've got your social media people. How many comments are going out a day? Are they relevant comments? Based off of, when is the best time to post? So it's a lot of meetings of a lot of shit. A lot of important meetings, and right now we're really focused on product development. So that would be probably my day-to-day, is meeting with a lot of people, even down to like the ingredients, and are they even legal to sell? So a lot of meetings, girl.
He says a lot of meetings. When is the fun? This is the fun.
This is the fun. No,
fun.
It is fun. It is really fun, because you really now, like when you have a big brand like that, it's scary, but it's fun. I think that's the best part about it, because you're like, I don't know if this is even going to work. It's like gambling.
It's like gambling. Festival.
Gambling's fun, right?
What is it? Fire Festival.
The Fire Festival.
Yeah. Don't be that.
Girl, that's for the next podcast.
With Ja Rule and that festival that multimillionaire guy, he was the same thing. He had an idea and he wanted to get his idea out, and it just didn't work. They were trying to do that big old festival.
You gotta watch it.
It's on
Netflix. You guys gotta watch it.
All right. So, do you travel often now that you're in Phoenix?
I'm going on live, guys.
No, you're
good. So I don't really get to travel a lot. That's another thing that I'm now, because I used to travel so much for work that I'm now like, you know what, girl, you need to travel for yourself.
Right.
I'm actually, for the first time in a long time, going to be traveling to Denver for my birthday. March 13th.
When is your birthday?
Pisces, March 13th.
Oh, okay, so you're Pisces.
What?
What's in Denver?
My sister lives in Denver, and I would say we don't ever get snow, but this morning I guess Phoenix has decided to snow on us.
Yeah.
Scottsdale decided to snow on us.
Yeah.
But I'm going to Denver just to do something different.
Awesome. Are you gonna ski?
I'm gonna ski.
Be a snow bunny?
I'm gonna do all that.
Except be a snow bunny.
Except, Airbnb, sidebar. Airbnb has these what are they called? Like the Airbnb experiences.
Oh, yeah.
And there was these people that were on there, and they were doing.
I'm so done with him.
They were doing yoga in the snow.
Oh, and
it was $150, honey. $150. I'm not doing yoga in the snow, honey. No, I'll do hot yoga. I'm not doing yoga in the snow. I will watch you from the log cabin as I am sipping hot chocolate, honey.
$150.
From
the log cabin.
They were sitting there doing
They had their tushies on the ground.
They had their tushies on the ground, honey.
and they were seriously doing it.
They were doing yoga in the snow. I'm not doing yoga in the snow.
No.
They'll make up anything.
So when do they start these experiences? I've never heard of that.
I've seen it on
Yeah,
their
they
website
do
before.
some Airbnb experience. It depends on where you go and what's going on
crazy.
at that time.
Okay.
So have you always been this stylish? I know
And-
you've been into
and
makeup.
fabulous.
Yes.
No. So, I actually, when I
wish y'all
first
could see his
moved
outfit.
here,
He
I
just-
know.
He brought it. Huh?
Yes, thank you. No, I actually did not get into fashion until I want to say probably about really truly about a year ago.
Okay.
I always wanted to. Unfortunately, I was in a relationship where I wasn't allowed, I guess, if you will, to date or to experiment in my kind of like bizarre style fashion. But when I fell in love with myself 2 years ago, and I was just like, you know what? Like, you are sickening. And you can be whatever it is that you want, and you can dress however it is that you want. And I remember when I first really started, I don't think that I have an eclectic style, but a lot of people seem to think that, and that's okay. But when I first started dressing how I wanted to dress, so many people would stop me. So many people would say, like, oh my gosh, you know, because of you, now I can wear this, or I can wear that, or it looks so good on you. And that's when I was like, girl, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that I want, is for people to just love what they do and love what they wear, and regardless, just be who they want to be.
Yeah.
And if my fashion, like, allows people to do that,
I'm
I'm here for it. I'm really here for it.
Yeah, I like your outfit too.
Do you think I got good style?
Yes.
Yes.
That's why I asked you. That's exactly why I asked you.
I do get a lot
I
of
really
You
like
look
that.
good
Your
even in a
necklace.
suit.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
stopped your
Yeah, it's so-
Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really, a lot of people, they kind of like look at me a little interestingly, because one day you'll see me in a suit, one day you'll see me, you know, in like this exotic like streetwear outfit, and I don't know, I'm just here for it.
Okay.
I love to keep people on their toes.
There you go.
You have me on my
Keep
toes.
flirting.
I
Keep
love
on
that.
You
flirting.
did.
Okay,
You did.
yeah.
I thought you were going to come
You
in
have
with
a
a
table full
suit.
of girlfriends.
And my whole impression was like, okay, we're going to have to loosen him up a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But no,
Did you
not
hear
at all.
Kimmy? She said, "Keep flirting. You can have a table full of girlfriends."
Aw.
Chocolate.
You got the whole spectrum.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so funny.
Age-wise and all.
What did you say?
Age-wise. All different ages.
Okay, so given that you run a business and you obviously have help with keeping this business, you know, running,
Taking
doing
your
certain
pictures.
things, was that hard for you initially to like step back and let others begin to help you? Like,
Yeah, it was really hard for me, because just being an artist, you know, and also working with the brand for so long. Because, girl, I knew I wanted that brand.
right.
In my heart, I was like, girl, you're never going to get it. I never in a million years ever expected to be the CEO of a Sedona Lace, ever.
Right.
But because I had been working with the brand for so long, when it happened, I was like, there's so many things that I want to do to change. Because for the longest time, there was so many things that I was like, dang, I wish they would do this, or dang, I wish they would do that. Just being an entrepreneur naturally, I was like, there's so many things that I want to implement into this brand. And now that I could do it, it was like a
dream.
just dream.
Right.
And it was really difficult for me to trust people with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the way that I looked at it is, I'll be honest with you, I'm like, you know, you have all this staff now, new staff. Because none of the staff stayed with us. It was all new staff. And the way that I looked at it was, you know, you don't know the brand how I know the brand. But what I had to remember is, you may not know the brand, but you know your career. You know what you went to school for. You know what your profession is. You know whatever it is that you got hired to do, how to do it. And when I looked at it from that angle, I was like, it's the same as, you know, if you're like, if I was sitting down and the client was like looking in the mirror like every 5 seconds. Just trust me. You know,
I
just
got
let me
this.
do my job. And it was really hard. It was really hard. And I have an incredible staff, and nobody has ever proven me or given me a reason to question them, but it's my baby.
Right.
You know?
Of course.
And I had all these ideas, but all the ideas are coming to life, so
There you go.
it's really
Can
hard.
you tell us about your Pretty in Pink collection, which we're going to name our martini after that?
Yes. Our Pretty in Pink collection, I actually thought I wasn't really a fan of it, but until it came out, and I was like, oh my god, this slays. But it's something that we wanted to do just to be a little bit more feminine. Our handles are normally black, and
is that what you brought us tonight? Or?
Yeah, I brought you one of our traditional brushes as well as one of our Pretty in Pink collection brushes, and
you keep pulling them right.
Okay.
She's applying makeup as we speak.
Yes, I come bearing
Thank
gifts.
you so much.
Did you want to show it on your live? One of the brushes that you...
These kids have already seen all the brushes. They see it day in and day out.
They know you, right?
They got to go to the site. No, but the Pretty in Pink collection, it's fun to us because it adds kind of like a fun, playful element to our brand that kind of is, really pink and black and just kind of like dark and mysterious and very artistic. And so we wanted to introduce a brush that was a little bit more playful, a little bit more feminine. And people love it.
Okay.
People really love it. We have another collection that's just launching as well. It's called our Luxe Essentials. And this is actually made of ethically sourced pine squirrel and chinchilla. Very, very, very soft brushes. And we're very excited about that because now we will be tapping into more of like a luxury side of clientele. Okay. So our main motto is our main drive is we are just trying to be able to touch the hands of everyone. Gotcha. I think as a CEO, there's so many companies who are not touching the hands of people when they need to be touching the hands of people.
So like from the high to the low?
From the high to the low.
Okay. Gotcha.
I want people with a large budget to experience a luxurious product. I want people with a low budget or no budget to be able to experience an incredible product, and everyone in between. Yeah. Whether you are a professional makeup artist or whether you are just, like that 13-year-old boy that I was, that didn't have a lot of money, had $20, you can get something. We got something for you. And I think as a CEO that's very important. I think that more CEOs need to be doing that. And I think that more companies need to be being more diverse. And while they are coming out with newness and why newness is on the table, they need to have diversity at heart.
Gotcha. So what's success to you? Like when are you going to be like the end all be all for you?
When I die.
Oh, okay. Then you answered that fast.
We are not stopping anytime soon.
So there's no stop. Okay.
No, I have a lot of stuff that I want to get done in my life, and I know that God is blessing me and has continued to prove that He is blessing me, and there's no stopping for me.
Cool. I like that. That's a good answer.
That's a really good answer. I don't even want to ask my last question because it was such a good answer. But I'm going to ask my last question. So I know that you spoke on how you work in like the film industry with makeup, correct? Do you see yourself transitioning to like the LA, like I guess you could say Hollywood, yeah, to do makeup for the movies?
To be honest with you, I've actually stepped quite largely away from, doing makeup myself. I don't know if it's just because God has directed me to be the CEO of this incredible company and now allow other artists to, provide them tools to do it. But I don't vision LA in my future. But, if God blesses me with that path, then I absolutely am ready. Right. The reason I say I'm not really quite sure is because I just haven't really been doing a lot of makeup myself as far as like the man behind the brush. I'm just the man providing the brush for the people to express their artistry.
The man behind the brush.
Hello, honey. That's where the money's at.
I love it.
I have you equipped with this stuff.
Okay. I got what you need, hunty.
Listen, I don't have no 5 a.m. call time anymore. And I got to get on no plane unless it's for a business meeting. And there's just something that is so rewarding about being the person that now provides for other artists. Like I was saying, being diverse, there's just something that is just so beautiful and so rewarding to be that person that says, here is the tools, express your artistry, express yourself, whatever it is that you're trying to do. To me, at one point within my artistry, it was very powerful to me to be able to have people, look at their makeup and be like, wow, and have that feeling. My feeling of what allows me to sleep at night is now being that person that gives the tools to the artist to, make them happy. Right. And allow them to sleep at night.
I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you ladies have any more questions before we... I know we're not completely done yet.
You're going to have to beat our face.
I talk a lot. I am so sorry, y'all. Y'all will have me here all night.
Drinking martinis.
So before we... did you?
No, go ahead.
So before we end off the night, do you have any shout-outs that you want to give?
I do have one shout-out to one individual that actually has really inspired me a lot through my company and through just allowing me to like be an entrepreneur and really allowing me to fall in love with myself. It's actually this gentleman, his name is Dion, and he's just really inspired me to, just fall in love with myself and be myself. And I don't know that I would be here. He does hair, incredible hair, in Scottsdale, but he's a really incredible man, and I'm very lucky to have him here. As far as business shout outs, I don't know. I'm here for everyone.
Hey. There we go. And then do you want to shout out your social media where the people can find you?
Yes, of course. So my last name is DèRocha, so you can, my handles on everything are DèRocha did it. So like DèRocha did the makeup.
He did it.
And my company that we were speaking of is called Sedona Lace Cosmetics. Okay. Just a quick Google, YouTube, anywhere, Sedona Lace, just like Sedona, Arizona, and lace, just like lace the fabric.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Arizona, Sedona. I didn't put the two together. So
Yeah, so Sedona Lace you can find anywhere. Like I said, YouTube, we sell on Amazon, we sell everywhere.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
I did have one more question. I noticed that you mentioned on your website that if YouTube people want you to sponsor them. So do you guys actually do that?
We have a huge PR. We have a huge PR department. So anybody that is ever interested in PR, whether you are, you have 100 followers, 500 followers, 100,000 followers, our PR will assess you. Our PR will look at your profile. Our PR will be in contact with you. Whether that means that we are going to give you a coupon code or set up some sort of agreement, we are here for everyone.
Okay, because we have someone that does makeup that
yes, we are here for them.
Okay.
We are here for them. We are here for people. We are here for the professionals, and we are here for the makeup connoisseurs. I have made it very clear to my PR team, I do not care if you have 100 followers. You've got 100 followers, honey. You've got 100 people that are watching you that believe in you.
Okay, cool, because we have somebody that we can pass that
here.
information to.
We don't just work with 100,000
Right.
because they're probably bought anyways.
Exactly. Right.
Oh, let's don't get started on that. Because we'll be here all night.
Listen, ladies, you guys have been so incredible. I just want to take a moment to thank you for your guys' time. I know that we are all very, very busy individuals, and time is very valuable. So,
no, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for coming.
You've been so much fun.
I know you really have.
You came through the door lighting it up.
Always, you got it.
We just sitting here waiting on you, like. As soon as you walked through the door, it was just like, woo, woo.
I was fashionably late.
Yeah.
But it was a good reason.
Right. Exactly.
Because of fashion.
That part.
All right, the Sitting Pretties ladies just want to thank you once again for coming out and spending your night with us and doing an amazing podcast. Thank you so much.
Gifts too.
Yeah,
thank
I feel like
you
from my
so
voice,
much.
I feel like from me talking, you guys are all just like falling asleep.
No, we're listening.
Oh, yeah, they're woke up.
No,
Of
no,
our
no.
attention.
You didn't
Really
all of our
got that?
attention.
Shoot.
No, I was just like, I don't know.
Oh no, not at
No,
all. Of course
no,
not.
okay.
No.
Believe me.
No, it's
Pour
awesome.
us a
woke.
drink. We
That
woke.
part.
Right.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
I'm glad you did.
Thank you.
Are you ladies ready to sign?
Yes.
You can sign. You'll sign out with us.
He can sign out last because he
you
got
can
it.
sign out
Go
last.
first.
You gonna sign out with us? He like, Who, me?
Yeah, so it can go around.
Oh, okay. It's T to the E. Good night.
Spicy tea out.
It's Kimmy, we out.
It's your girl Nikay.
I'm DèRocha, and we're out.
Gotta call your sugar daddy just to buy an entree. But please don't get it twisted. Come try me and you might get your wig lifted. My daddy taught me well, so I don't with the snitches. Nah. Just know I'm bougie and you gotta what? Deal with it. Bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang. Got 2 necklaces from Tiffany's. My ice 10 times, your nose ring. You better back off before you get got. I'ma knock you with my rose gold wristwatch. Y'all think this is a game, but I'm spinning facts. My middle name bougie, so you know it's raps. Wrapped it up then.